All right. Well, we're starting. My name is Kelvin. Uh,
And I'm Christian Ray. Hey, what up? What up?
okay, and we're doing a Freedom Cage interview. Uh, we've been talking about doing this for some time now, and I'm excited that we're actually here and doing it. Yeah.
Yep,
So,
true that. It's been
so
a minute.
yeah, it has, man,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
and we're finally here. I think.
Yes.
I think this is something that everybody's been waiting for, and
Maybe. Well, I mean, we'll find out.
we will. No, we'll see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna get started on this first question. Tell us who
All
you
right.
are and what it is you do.
I am Christian Ray. I'm from South Jersey. Well, originally from Philadelphia, actually. But I'm a Christian hip hop artist. And yeah, I make a lot of fun, crazy tunes and music and whatnot. And it's quite crazy. It can get quite crazy, I guess. But heck yeah. Heck yeah.
uh, nice. For those of you that don't know, I am Kelvin. Kelvin Saints.
Yo, this the boy right here. I'm just saying, yo. All right. I mean, look, you can look at this face and then tie it to like Not a Chance, and that's the man rapping Not a Chance right there with me.
That's yes,
That's Kelvin Saints right there,
That's me.
the one and only dude.
the
Oh my
one-
God, look at him. He's beautiful.
Oh man, stop it! I'm blushing. Okay, well, in preparation for this interview, I kind of took it a little seriously upon myself and got some questions ready for you. I just want to know
Which
if
I'm
you're-
probably not ready for, but we're gonna do it.
Stop it! We got this.
I'm excited.
No, it's some questions that I think that I'm personally interested in knowing, and I think a lot of people would appreciate finding out about yourself and about this project here. So,
Dude, I'm so excited.
I'm
Hit me with him.
okay. We're just gonna start off going
Yeah,
down the
fire
line.
out. Pew pew pew.
Okay, so with the release of your first project, what was your process when tackling this EP, and what pushed you towards creating it?
I think what pushed me towards creating in the first place, I think, was like, I would say, just the accumulation of events that I wanted to like get off my chest. Like I feel like I was venting. Like I wanted to vent, and the only way to do that in my head, the only way that I could see myself doing that was through rap, because it gave me the maximum amount of words to vent. So you know what I
I
mean?
can hear it.
Yeah. So like, I just wanted to. I mean, there's some things on there that are also like, I just wanted to like boast about my God too, but I don't know. It was more of like I felt like I had a lot of like different things or whatever. Oh, look at that! We just jumped through hyperspace. One of the batteries died in the camera, but that's okay. That's probably gonna happen a lot, to be honest. So,
It's okay.
anyway, but so I wanted to vent. I
We'll
basically
edit that out.
yeah. But I
Okay.
wanted to vent. I just like had all these things like these ideas in my head, and I was like, wow, this would be pretty cool if I almost like put it into like a story, and then that inspired me to like kind of get off the ground running. And that was only part of your question. What was the other part of your question?
What pushed you towards creating it?
Well, that pushed me towards creating it. I
Okay.
was saying. No, the other part.
Wait. What was your process when tackling it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
My
So
bad.
my process when tackling it was, I had to like zoom out and like, I can't just put like, I didn't want to just start it with like some heartbreak song and then go into something else. I don't know. That just seemed kind of odd. Like the way that the person starts and goes through the EP was pretty important to me. Like I wanted to make it like kind of cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to start it out like crazy, which was Conqueror.
Mm-hmm. I think you did a good job.
Yeah. And then I wanted to like keep that energy through Promise, but obviously Promise, like content wise, is more introspective. It's more about my experience with a breakup. But I think in terms of like instrumental, it keeps up like the energy, which is cool, and then it kind of like goes in the idle, which is also pretty like really
keeping like a same tone, right?
yeah, yeah.
I think.
So yeah, I mean that was my, I guess I wanted it to be cohesive and easy to listen to through the whole thing, which was cool.
Cool. All right. Well, next question.
Heck yeah.
Um, how long did it take you to finish this EP? I know a lot of people don't know the amount of work it takes to actually do like a whole EP or album.
Yeah, that's the truth. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was like I want to say I started 2015, or the ideas started in 2015, 2016. And then I just kind of sat on them a little bit. I came out with a mixtape called the Pygmalion Effect, which Calvin remembers. Not almost nobody remembers. Yeah, almost nobody remembers that. I mean,
no. if you remember that, if you remember that, you're a day one.
Yeah, you're a real one. Like, oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I think we burned that somewhere. Threw it in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I deleted it off my computer like last year or something. But so I had that. I believe that was 2016. I think. I mean,
it could have actually been 2015 if I remember correctly.
Well,
like late 2015.
No, I think it was 2016.
Early 2016 then.
Yeah, around then. Mm-hmm. Or no, it came out in December. Maybe it was 2015. Anyway, well, I did that, and then ideas were sprawling from that, and like some stuff off of the Pygmalion Effect, I believe that I didn't use. I ended up they ended up inspiring me to do on Freedom Cage. So, I actually started Freedom Cage in like late 2016, or I was actually, a lot of people don't know this. I actually started creating a album that was called The Distance Between Us, and Calvin's smiling because he remembers that too.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be my first debut album, and it was crazy. Like, it was insane. But basically, so I had like 12, 14 tracks, and then I ended up like trashing the entire album because I concluded that it was not the direction I wanted to go. So I took some of the songs off of The Distance Between Us, refined them heavily, and they turned into, one of them turned into Idol on Freedom Cage. Another one turned into Promise on Freedom Cage. And I think there was one more. I'm not sure. I don't think so, actually. But that was crazy. So late 2016 all the way to 2018, which is like 2 years, essentially. I was just constantly refining.
I remember that. That was a crazy process watching you just do
Insane.
all that. And then to be just like, nah, I'm getting rid of the whole thing.
I was like, Kelvin, I got rid of it. And you're like,
yeah.
Are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, dude, why?
I was upset, but we got Freedom Cage out of it. So
yeah.
So I guess I'm not that upset now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm aware that you are someone that's multifaceted in this industry. As a close friend, I've seen you learn how to mix and master, produce your own music, rap and write your own lyrics, as well as doing your own artwork and video editing. What would you say are the pros of being able to do all this in your process, and cons, if any?
Pros is you're just independent. Like, you don't gotta pay $700 for someone to stand in front of you and take a video. Like, I mean, not that that's bad, because it's not bad. I mean, like, some people, they're just, like, not, like you said, like, well-faceted and well, I mean, you can't just sit there and take a video of yourself. Like, you need
selfie music.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just, yeah. But, like, for example, shout out Justin Rodriguez, my cousin. Sometimes, like, because he knows, or he's also a videographer and a photographer. But because I know videographer, lingo and all that stuff, and I know, like, I come to him with an idea, but the idea in my head is kind of already finished because I know exactly what I want, and I know how to achieve that idea and how to film that idea. And obviously, my cousin Justin knows, he breathes that stuff as well, so I can just easily convey to him the idea, and he's like, "Yeah, I got you." And so that's what a pro of that is.
Yeah, I think we got to see some of that with Snowfall, which
Yeah, I still don't
uh,
have a music video for this song, but it's
which
fine.
that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, he's gonna put me on blast. He's about to put me on blast.
What's up with that? why do we get a teaser but not the whole video?
I just wanted a teaser, and I just did not get to filming a full
Yeah.
video.
Do you think
Just straight up, I didn't get to it.
do you
It's
think
not
we're-
really an excuse.
We're ever
but
gonna get a whole video or
no,
dang.
not
Well-
the plans right now. I mean, there's for my next project, there's
Well-
plans, but
Okay, well, I don't know what that means. We
Cut.
have to take. I just had to ask because I was curious
yeah, no,
personally. But okay. So next question. What was the most frustrating part for you personally of putting this EP together?
for sure. Writer's block, and also that was so real. I mean, I think you remember me
Mhm.
talking to you about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I was so pissed. Writer's block or I think just writer's block, honestly. I think instrumentally it was very easy for me because I was very
That
inspired by
background music.
Black
Yeah.
or Six Lack, however.
It's black.
It's Black, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So didn't he get mad at one point talking about like, oh,
Yeah.
it's Six Lack?
I don't know. I think it's black.
Anyway, if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I was very inspired by his music, which is very like melodic R&B,
Mm-hmm.
trap, hip hop. So I think that was really. I mean, not he wasn't the sole inspiration, but I mean, there's a lot of other people who inspired me. But all that to say, like, I just think, in terms of me creating it instrumentally, it was very easy. It just kind of like came naturally. But in terms of writing,
That's
I don't have as much experience writing, so it was harder. It was a lot harder.
That's a nice flex, though.
What?
The music just came to me.
Uh,
I like it.
Well, okay, so prior to me creating Freedom Cage, I would produce for this man right here sometimes, and
That was-
Noah, yeah, and
That's
everybody
another
else.
throwback. If you remember that,
Yeah,
you're also day one.
day one. And I've been, I was producing for like 3 or 4 years beforehand. So like at that
Uh-huh.
point, I was pretty well versed
Yeah, yeah.
in like
You've
that
been
process.
You've been putting in those hours in.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? I had an idea for the beat, and I was like, yo, what if I did this crazy thing in it? And then I used that, and then it just blew up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're gonna follow up with that. What was your anticipation of the reception of this EP before it was released? Were you nervous or just ready to release it?
I was just ready to release it because it was like 2 years.
2 years.
I was like, yo, I gotta get this thing out the door. Like, I just
Yeah.
want it, like, because I was focusing so much at the very, very, very tail end of like advertising and stuff or whatever. Which is not the most fun thing in the world. I mean, it's fun, but it's not like,
part of the process.
oh my
though.
god, like I'm in music for advertising. Like
No,
no,
no
you know
one
what I mean?
does
Like
that.
no.
No one says
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a song and I can't wait to advertise this.
Right.
I think
Yeah, like
Yeah.
no.
no, but
So I don't know. I just thought that was like,
just part of that.
yeah. But I'm surprised that even 5 people listened to it.
Yeah,
I was
mean,
expecting anyone to listen to it. So
and yet here we are today.
yeah, it's pretty
So-
fun.
So yeah, I think personally, I think the reception has been a good one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would agree with me that people really like it. No, man.
Yo, Christian Ray, you trash can, bro. His beats are shit. No, I'm joking.
Stop. In the background. Okay. Well, following that question, how did it feel after putting it out? Did you feel the amount of support that you had been receiving from its release? And would you say that you feel you have a core audience this early on, or are you anticipating a bigger core audience?
Wait, what was the first part of the
The-
question you said?
How did you feel after putting it out? Did you feel the amount of support you're receiving from its release, or did you feel support?
Yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think just because I have a good church community and a good community who
Mhm.
actually like cares about me and like supports me. So on that end, for sure. Um, and I think that I don't know. It was just like going to or like seeing like a bunch of my friends or like my kids like singing the lyrics and stuff after I released it was like kind of surreal, and it was just like whoa, like these people actually like this. I was like that's kind of crazy, and
I
then
got
I felt supported because of that.
Yeah, I got to see a little bit of that myself.
Yeah.
Being on the sidelines there, I got to see some support, and I'm not even the one that released this EP. So
Yeah. No, it
hey,
was super cool though, and
yeah.
I think in terms of core audience, you said
Do you feel you have a core audience already, or are you waiting for it to get a little bigger?
I feel like I have a really small core audience for sure.
Nice, nice.
Just my best friends, my community,
Hmm.
with like church and Young Life. Shout out Young Life. Shout out Darren Shelburne. Shout out Mike Waller. Shout out no nice. Bunch of shout outs. No, but yeah, I think like with those guys in that community, they're just like even if I flop, like they're still gonna love me. You know what I
Nice.
mean? So I'm like, yeah, like
Yeah,
of course, like this is
feeling the love. I like it.
yeah, and it's just cool because it's like they, just as far. I mean, it's not all about social media, obviously, but just as far as them like hitting me or DMing me, hitting me up, or like reposting my stuff, like they don't have to do that, but they do that.
Mhm.
And it's just like another like step to show that like they support me, So yeah, I would say I have a core audience. I mean, it's not a big one, and it doesn't have to be big. I mean, I'm just like I said, I'm happy 5 people even listen to it, so
Nice.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's awesome. Very
I like
grateful for that.
I'm grateful too.
Shout out Shelburne.
They're gonna watch this and just be so confused.
Shout out there in Shelburne.
Okay.
Love that
Uh,
man.
Okay. Let's get into the meat of this interview.
The meat.
Let's do a dive into the album itself.
We have the
So,
meats.
Freedom Cage. Why that name? What does it mean?
So Freedom Cage. I feel like a lot of people, go like run away from God because they feel like that is freeing them. Like they think that God is like rules and regulations, like religion, like harsh religion, like legalism, stuff like that. So, getting away from God means freedom, when in reality, the only thing that's actually going to set you free is God. So it's an opposite mindset. So as they run away from God, thinking that they're going to be free or freer, if that's a word, I'm pretty sure that's a word, freer. Um, they're actually caging themselves, essentially. They're actually putting themselves into a world where they'll go after other things that won't satisfy them. So they're essentially caging themselves. So that's why it's called Freedom Cage. It's kind of an oxymoron, but which is pretty cool. And I mean, it fit really well. And I think all of us have freedom cages per se. Like
Mhm.
we all have things where it's like, oh, like I don't want to give that up because I feel like I'm more free without that. But in reality, I have to give up that very thing in order to be free. Like that thing in which I'm caging myself in with seems like it's freedom, but it's actually just a cage. So,
That's a very, very good answer.
yeah.
Okay. So, for your writing process, did you write this album with the audience in mind, or did you cater more to yourself?
I definitely cater more to myself, if not completely, because I'm selfish. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking.
Freedom
No.
Cage.
No, I mean, nah. I mean, I want to, like, I just want I mean, honestly, anyone can listen to it. Like, I'm not, like, out here, like, oh, you need to repent, blah, blah. Like, nothing like that. Like anyone can listen to it. I think. But I also don't shy away from my faith. So I think it's very like when I was writing it, I don't think I was trying to appeal completely to a Christian, and I wasn't trying to appeal completely to a non-Christian. I was just kind of like putting it out there and putting out my experience with God. And that was it, honestly. Like I didn't really I don't know. I guess that's why I was not, when I released it, like I wasn't butthurt that, oh, this group of people didn't listen to it or this group of people didn't listen to it because I just put it out there to put it out there. Like there was no expectations. Like I was just like, this is my walk and I want to honor God in it, and that was it. Like here we go.
Yeah, no, I personally think that's the best way to do it. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's where the magic happens, and you
Yeah.
just don't let any exterior influences, you know, really
Yeah.
push you away from the direction that you just feel from your heart.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Amen to that, boy.
So, continuing on writing processes, what was your writing process like for coming up with a specific theme for an EP? I know a lot of artists just early on just try to release a small EP, displaying versatility. They have and trying to put together a bunch of different sounding songs that they sound good in. What made you choose a more different and more structured route for your first release?
I think the variety that's in it is because I was inspired by a lot of different genres. Hip hop was one of like 6 or something genres that I actually implemented into Freedom Cage. It didn't have. I know the EP itself is hip hop, but the inspiration behind it was mostly not hip hop. So I think that's where the variety comes in, the different sound. What was the other part you said of the question?
Why did you choose to create like a theme for it instead of
Oh.
just releasing a bunch of like singles
Yeah.
as a collective EP?
Right. I apologize for my memory. My memory is booty.
No, it's okay. It's
I
our
think-
first go of this.
Yeah.
So
I think in terms of a theme, the reason why I picked the theme was because I think I wanted to create like a mini world instead of just like a bunch of bangers. Like I think
Exactly.
anyone nowadays can release a bunch of bangers,
mm-hmm.
and that's not impressive necessarily. Like I don't. You know, you got a
Do you
good beat,
feel
whatever.
that it's
like,
oversaturated, or is it what makes it not impressive?
I think it's oversaturated. Like I feel like I don't know. Like maybe I have a way higher bar when it comes like a way higher expectation when it comes to like other artists.
Do you see yourself more like an artist then?
Like I want to when I create music, it's not just about music. Like it goes if you can create a project that goes beyond the project itself, then you're doing something you're doing something like more than anyone else who just releases a song.
I agree.
So it's just like bangers are fun, like they're they have their place, but I wanted to create a theme because I wanted almost like a mini world that you can like kind of like start and finish. And it puts you like in that like vibe, and like the whole EP has like a vibe, a theme, and it's consistent. Because if I was all over the place, not that that's bad. Some artists can pull that off really well, and it's actually kind of incredible. But I wanted it. I don't know. I think creating each song in the EP is one thing, but when you look at the entire EP and see it as like one experience, that's a whole nother level that a lot of artists I feel like can't do.
Yeah, I think personally that's what stays with you longer.
Yeah, and not to say I'm like freaking like I don't know someone like I'm the best. Like I'm not the best, dude. Like like I got so much more to learn. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just preference. We need to take an intermission again.
Okay.
But
when did the camera stop? All right, in the mission, baby. When we back.
Woo!
We back.
All right, let me do a quick stretch.
That bull stretching.
Stretching.
Look at that stretch.
Look at these stretches.
You see it.
Yeah.
You see it. Shout out Andy Minio, hit me up.
Yo.
Because you're basically my role model.
Oh my god.
And Darren Shelburne. Shout out Darren Shelburne.
Are we doing
Shout out Shelburne.
a shout out really quick before we get started?
Yeah.
Dang.
What's your shout out? Give a shout out right now.
Shout out to my parents. For giving birth to me.
Nice.
Woo!
Yo.
Love your parents day.
Ew. Shout out
out.
Erin Riley. She's right behind me on the couch.
Shout out Aaron Riley.
Hi, Erin.
Shout out all sorts of chicken foods. Chicken nuggets.
Shout out peppermint
Chicken wings.
milkshakes from Chick-fil-A. You know? You know? Come on. Peppermint
No,
milkshakes? No.
I
Why?
disagree.
You disagree?
Shout out cookies and cream milkshakes.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. But, like, you don't like peppermint milkshakes?
Oh, no, I do, but it's just not the best one.
Okay. All right. I
Dang.
mean, I thought you were just, like, flat out, nah, peppermint's booty. I was like, what?
No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it's
no,
so good.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think they had a peach shake too.
They did. Yeah. I'm
Shout
pretty
out-
sure that they
shout out
did.
peach shakes.
I actually never had that one.
Me neither.
No, wait, I think I had one.
It
I
just
thought it was really
happened
good,
so
too.
fast, I forgot.
I ingested it so quick, dude.
I ingested. Oh my god.
Dude, it just flew into. I didn't even swallow it, bro.
The
It just-
peppermint shake. Oh my god. Yeah,
No, I'm talking about you and that peach milkshake.
I had never had it.
What? I thought you just told me you had it.
No, I'm just saying like.
Yo, he lying to me. He lying to me.
No, I never said I had it. I just said I would love to try it.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Shout out Malta.
Yo, shout out Malta.
Malta.
Shout out Goya. Shout out.
Goya
Shout out.
products.
Malta Goya. Shout
Shout
out
out
Malta India.
Shout out my Latinos.
Shout out the Latinos in the building, which
Community.
is just me and Kelvin right now.
Shout out Aaron Riley, honorary Latino.
Honorary.
Okay, let's
That-
get back into this.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Yeah. I mean, we could honestly just be here all day. Just.
Just messing around.
Yeah, just goofing off.
That could be possible. We could do that at the end if you want.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Okay.
I mean, we do that all the time anyway.
Yeah, we do. But we need to give these people what they want, Christian. We need to stop messing around. They want to know.
I'm not surprised that this is how this is going right now.
Me neither, but
Christian, we need to give them what they want. Oh, shoot, you're right, dude. All right, hold on. All right.
okay.
I'm ready, though.
Okay. Good. So we just finished ending the first half of this interview.
Boom, boom.
Now we're gonna get.
Skra-
I need a.
To the papa.
I need another
Skra to the papa.
intermission.
Pa-pa-pa.
Man,
Skra.
we're losing all our cool rapper
Oh,
points right now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He's got-
All right. I'm ready for the next question.
All right. Dang, man. I was really trying to hold on to the cool rapper look for at least a year more, a year or two. We just lost all those
All
points
of it
right now.
gone in like a matter of 20 seconds.
Hi, Mom. That's when I lost it.
Shout out to my parents. It just went downhill from
Yeah.
right there.
Oh,
Oh my
well.
gosh.
hey, man. I'm just being me.
Hey, we out here.
They hate to see it.
They hate to see it. They hate on the boy.
They hate on
They
it.
hate on the boy all the time. Free Kelvin Saints 2021.
We're going to need to edit all this out. Now we're going to do a quick lyrical breakdown of your album and a few questions about songs to see if you can give us a few answers about some of these tracks and a few of the juicy details that we've
Alright.
been dying to know.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay. In Conqueror, you say, riding passenger, not the cockpit. If it's up to me, I'ma lose it. Could you elaborate more for people what you meant when you said that and why you said it?
So I said that because if I'm riding cockpit, which essentially means if I'm basically leaving it up to myself to do everything, it's gonna suck. Like it's gonna be bad. Like, and that's not just with music. That's just like in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I become the ruler of my own life, essentially. Like, if I just go by my plan, like, my plan sounds good in my head, but that doesn't mean that it's a good plan. So I'm going to probably not do a good job. I'm probably going to run myself into the ground on, like, on a life standpoint, not just a music standpoint. So it would be unwise for me to decide what is right for myself because I'm a sinful human being. So, with that,
We love
that
to
being
see
said,
it.
you really hate to see
you,
it.
you really hate to see it.
But
But
yeah. So that's why I said riding passenger, because who is in the cockpit is obviously God. Um, his plan's way greater than my plan,
and we love to see that.
and we love to see that.
We love to see it.
Yes. So, with that being said, riding passenger, not the cockpit. If it's up to me, I'm gonna lose it. So, yeah.
It's a simple breakdown. Nice.
Boom, simple breakdown.
All right.
Genius.com, no, not shout out, just
Oh my God, we're shouting too many people
yeah,
out.
yeah, you're right. Ooh.
This interview is gonna get like just taken off YouTube, copyrighted by everybody. Okay, in Promise, you talk about heartbreak. Do you have any advice for anybody that's going through heartbreak?
Take your time. Don't worry. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. It can go any way. Honestly, like, you have a plan in your head, most likely. Like, oh, like, if I do this, maybe this person will notice me again, or maybe, blah blah. If I go to this place, like, you're formulating like plans in your head.
Answers.
But it's that doing that is what is holding you back, and you need to. I mean, I everyone's situation is different, but generally speaking, if someone, let's just say your girlfriend, boyfriend, was just like kind of up and left, like, you're probably feeling awful. Like, you're probably feeling like a range of emotions: anger, sadness, loneliness, all that. So I think it's just like zoom out a little bit, because right now that other person who, quote unquote, like, broke your heart, essentially, is like the only thing you see. It's like right in front of your face, and when it's right in front of your face, you can't see the room surrounding it. So I would encourage that person to zoom out. Which is very difficult to do. I mean, I've been in that position. I'm like saying it like, oh yeah, just like zoom out. Like, no, like, that's not. Obviously, it takes a lot of time, patience with yourself, because it will take probably a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's not easy. So patience with yourself, and to, like, realize that it might not go the way you want it to. But at the end of the day, that's why, hey, maybe your plan is not the best plan, and God's plan is obviously the much better plan. Maybe he doesn't want you to be with that person. Maybe he does, and right now is not the time. Like, you don't know. Like, you just don't know. So, as creatures who want control all of the time, that's incredibly difficult for us.
Amen to that.
Yeah, amen to that. It's like, when you feel like
That's
you're out of control with something like that, it's like devastating, So I just think it's like being okay with the fact that you're not the end all and be all of your life, and neither is that person who hurt you in any way. But there's a bigger standard beyond that, or a bigger purpose beyond that. So it's very and it can be humbling too. Not to, like, disregard anyone's pain or anything like that. I mean, that stuff is really important. Like, that stuff, like, when you're younger, like, shapes you sometimes, for good or for bad. Like, you can let God use that experience to reshape you into a more wise person.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be emotionally stunted, like, emotionally stuck at that point, and then bring that into your next relationship, and then you're wondering why relationships are failing, because you're maturing physically, but you're not maturing mentally or emotionally. So that's really important.
That's so many truth bombs right there. I was
Truth bombs.
I was not ready.
You asked me the questions.
I asked you the questions. I can't handle the truth. All right. Next question. In Idol, you start off the verse by saying, "Don't write me as worthless, 'cause I just don't look as perfect as the image in your head. So I'm going to manage knowing you won't see my vantage, so take advantage instead." Where was your mindset when you were writing these lyrics, and what were the main points you were trying to make?
I was on the other side of what I just said. I was the one who was hurt. I was the one who was like
Absolutely.
that, and that goes into yeah, like right back into the breakup stuff. Like I was, because I felt so I wrote that out of a freshly hurt heart. So I
Mm.
was feeling as anyone would feel in that position. I was feeling like not enough, essentially. And it was like and I was unsure. I didn't have any closure with that person, so I felt very like, oh, is it me like physically? Like, do I not physically like amount up to what you want? So because of that, I wrote that essentially. I was feeling like I wasn't enough. Um, but that person wanted to continue to be friends with me, so I was like, oh, but like, so you don't want like a romantic relationship with me, but you still want some of those benefits by taking advantage of me through a friendship. I was like, what? But
Hmm.
looking back on that, that just was not even the case at all, and I was just hurt.
Yeah.
So, um, time helps.
Hmm.
I think God heals. Time also heals, but not like God heals. But yeah, so looking back on that, it was when I realized that no, she just wanted to be friends with me just because like she respected me as a human being. I was like, oh, you're not an awful person. But
That's
that's where where those lyrics came from though. That
okay.
yeah, that heart posture, I guess.
Nice. I didn't know that they were related. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. In habits, you talk about worshiping idols and heading towards a direction away from God. What was your own personal struggle like, and what advice do you give to the audience that's looking for a closer path with God?
I would say honestly, like I felt like I was trying to fit in too much in high school. Like I was trying to like. I mean,
I think that's
I don't want to.
everybody's struggle.
Yeah, I mean, most people
High
struggle
school's
with
such a
that.
weird time.
Yeah, high
in
school
your
is a weird
life.
time, right? I mean, I don't want to sound basic.
Mhm.
Like, it's just it's just like what it is. It's like we're social creatures. Like we want to like fit in with the people that we like.
Mhm.
Period. So, but the thing is like it's very it's very easy for us to like misconstrue that. Like it's very easy to like hold that to something bigger than it actually is. And I think that that's what I was doing, and that was like a habit that I had.
Hmm.
And habits that song is just basically talking about how like, we're creatures of habit, but sometimes those habits are not beneficial to us at all. So it's kind of like taking those habits and rewire, because habits themselves are not bad. It's just that we make them bad.
That's the truth.
So like we can make them bad.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like there are really good habits to have. And
Mhm.
it was that song was like I was just fed up with myself. Like I was like, this is not who I want to be. You know what I mean? Like I just want to be myself all the time. So it was like more about um, rewiring that those like systematic thoughts essentially. So
Nice.
yeah. But we're gonna
Take another quick
yeah,
intermission.
super quick break. We're gonna cut right now because one of the camera's batteries or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I cut. Oh, we cut again. Oh my god! Would you look
Okay.
at that? It's magic. It's actually magic.
That's-
All right, sick.
okay, so we're back. We're gonna continue with these
Yes.
questions here.
Yes.
We left off on we finished habits. Now I'm gonna ask you about Snowfall.
Sick.
So Snowfall seems to be telling us a story about a car crash you were in. Was there a deeper meaning? If so, could you elaborate for us?
With all of Snowfall.
Mhm.
I think I was feeling. So at the beginning with the car crash, it kind of sets up like the story a little bit. It sets like the tone. I was very that song is incredibly introspective. It's like very like in my own head.
Hmm.
Like not honestly that song is just about loneliness. It's
Yeah.
just about loneliness like to be honest. It's very like oh man, I was struggling with that hard like 2015, 2016. I think. Like I felt like I was surrounded by a lot of great people and a lot of friends, but yet I was the most lonely I've ever felt. And I thought that was like so interesting, like just that like how opposite that is and how that works.
Hmm.
And that's why Snowfall started. And I think me crashing my car was like, oh, of course, like me, like you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
in that season of loneliness, I was like, I'm just gonna tie it all together. Um, but I think I was just very. The thing with loneliness is like you start to feel lonely, and then it starts to become self sustaining. I don't know why I can't say that. Self sustaining. So for me, I was becoming more lonely. So then when I would have an average like conversation or just like hang out with somebody, I would feel very I would just like automatically put myself in a position where it's like, oh, well they probably just don't like me. Like even
Mm.
they didn't have to say anything bad to me. I just like assumed that they didn't like me. And because of that, then I would feel more lonely. And then that cycle would repeat and then I wouldn't go out like as much, I guess, and I wouldn't I like let it kind of like take the reins
It kind of consume you a
essentially.
bit there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's where that song is coming from. It's very like, and for some reason it when I crashed my car, it was
Mm.
I was going to work in like basically a state of emergency, like snowstorm, which was very dumb, but I had to go to work, and I hit the pole, but it was very like I don't know, like for some reason those two things really tied together for me, like being alone in that car and hitting the pole, but also feeling lonely and like mentally hitting the pole
Mm.
was like the same thing for me. And I think that's why Snowfall came out like that. But I also know that there's a lot more to that, and there's a way bigger hope for me than just me. Uh, like God's call to my life is not to be lonely. It's to be in a community and to really take that seriously. So I think that and so I started writing Snowfall when I was in that season. That song took a very long time to write because I was trying to word those feelings, and those feelings are incredibly hard to word because I was confused about those feelings myself, and I had no idea what to like say or how to say it. So that took a while. It took so long that I actually, when I started to get out of that season and I started to feel a lot better, um, I was so excited and started to be so on fire for the fact that I was finally realizing that I am completely like cared for, that I wanted to bring that into the song in some way. So I ended up that's where you get the end of Snowfall, the outro of Snowfall,
Mm.
um, where it's just like, hey, like this is how I was feeling, and this is some real stuff for sure, and it hurts, but just because my brain is telling me that I like have to be lonely does not change the truth that I am not lonely. So that's why I went straight into the outro, which is like switches gears a lot
Mm-hmm.
and is a lot more hype and a lot more the energy just changes. And I wanted to do that in a way that was very I didn't want to like switch the song so hard that they're just like, whoa, what the heck? Like, I think it fed into into the outro really well. And I wanted to do that in like a cohesive way. So that was like really cool and like really fun to do. And when I finished the song and kind of look back on it, like that whole song is a journey, like a multi-year journey in like one song. It's crazy. So that song is easily one of my favorites off of Freedom Cage. I mean, for sure. But
Likewise. It's always
yeah.
it's
Oh
been
yeah,
my
wasn't that
favorite
your
song.
favorite? You said
That was my favorite song.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let people know that's my favorite song on the.
that's the
on the
bully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sure.
No. Let's not get into that right now. Okay, so last track, Freedom Cage. What did you mean when you said silence causes violence? In loudness, there's nowhere to hide.
I think I was caught in between like myself so much that it's like silence, just like with that loneliness aspect. Silence was just violent. I mean, and it reminds me of the 121 Pilots lyric. That's not where I got it. I actually like made that lyric, and then I heard the 21 Car Radio by 21 Pilots, and I was like, oh snap, that's exactly what I was thinking. And he like worded it almost the same way. I was like, okay.
That tends to happen a lot
Yeah.
with writers, you know. It's just
Yeah. Because I
process.
mean, I wrote the song,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
started writing the song so long before it came out. So, like, it was around
No,
that
it
time.
happens. You know, there's only so many ways you can phrase things. Sometimes it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so I'm not worried about it. But,
so then loudness. What?
yeah, I just think, like, loudness can be overwhelming, just like silence can.
Mm-hmm.
It just, like I said, like, with loneliness, or just a very, like, self-aware, but not in a good way. Like, very, like, oh, like, I just feel like I'm not good enough, or I just feel like I'm not like this, or blah, blah, blah. In silence with yourself can be very awful.
Just as bad as being in loudness.
Exactly,
Oh, dang.
because in loudness,
I personally was trying to understand that too, like
Yeah.
what you were meaning by that.
because, like, in loudness, so
both could
what-
be negatives.
yeah, because when
Yeah.
I was around people and it was loud, I still felt alone. But
Yeah.
when I was alone, it was really loud in my head.
Mm.
So neither were good.
I
So
can see that. Yeah.
yeah, so that's how I arrived at that lyric.
Mm.
But it also rhymed perfectly, so I was like, nice.
Nice. I like that. That's probably one of my favorite bars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Heck yeah.
Okay, let's see. Wow, we actually just finished all the questions.
Yo!
So I just want to say thank you so much, Matt, for the interview. So it was a good time.
Dude,
I
it's
wanna
great.
I want you to let the people know what's next for Christian Ray, if anything, and we'll end on a high note.
All right. So new project officially confirmed here right now. Nah, I'm still not gonna give you the title, but hopefully later this year, hopefully maybe fall, like almost holiday, would be awesome. But I am not going to put a timetable on it because I know that life can happen in a lot of different ways, and maybe
Mhm.
I have to suspend it or whatnot. But it is insane. All the instrumentals are finished, and I still have to write a bunch of lyrics. And one song already came out on that next project called Identity, which is
Available on all streaming platforms.
yes, available on all streaming platforms. And that one is amazing. But Identity is just a little glimpse into the insanity of the next project, and it's crazy. So I'm very excited. But yeah, and
Okay.
some music videos, hopefully.
Hey.
Hey,
Oh man, I can't wait personally.
heck yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
That was the Freedom Cage interview. I'm Kelvin Saints, Saints, and this is Christian Ray.
REY.
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 We hope you
Hooray.
enjoyed that, and yeah, I mean,
Heck yeah. Hopefully we'll do this again soon.
hopefully, man.
Yeah.
Have a great day, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.